Hello and welcome back to AQA GCSE Business Studies Topic 4 Human Resources, and we're on to our second part of motivating employees. This week we are looking at just a reminder of what is meant by the term motivation, as well as the particular methods that could be used by businesses. So take a second, just remind ourselves what is actually meant by the term motivation. If you need to, pause the video now. Right, so motivation is the range of factors that influence people to behave in certain ways. Did you remember that? If not, it might be worth noting it down again, just to keep it fresh in your mind. Remember Maslow? Remember last time? So, what I want you to think about is what would be your perfect working environment? Describe that perfect classroom or perfect workspace when you're working at home. And what might make a great office? And then, can a shop improve the working conditions for its employees? So think about Tesco, think about your local spa or anything like that. Pause the video now and have a little think about it. Okay, so hopefully you gathered some thoughts from that last one, okay? And what I'd like you to do is stop the video now, go on the PowerPoint, click this link, and you will be buzzing, honestly. I want you to tell me after the video, would you want to work for Google? And what actually appealed to you from the video? Is there any ideas perhaps that we could take when you're the future business owners of tomorrow that you might be able to do for your business? Pause the video now and have a look. So, there are two main ways to motivate staff. Now, most of you will be thinking about the financial methods, okay? Most people just think, oh, pay them more, they will work harder, okay? Contrary to popular opinion, that method only works to a certain point. Actually, there are lots of other factors that can be used to motivate staff. And if you're a small business that doesn't have a lot of money to be able to pay staff, maybe they want to be looking at non-financial methods, other different ways other than payments to keep their staff happy, to keep your best staff. So to do that, I've given you a list of motivators, okay, and I'd like to complete you to complete the table on your worksheet, being sure to explain your answers. No one-liners, okay? Make sure you're using your BLT, because, leading to, therefore. How did you get on with the last activity? Perhaps you were a bit confused with some of the words that we used. Here in this section are some of the key words explained to you, so you can go back afterwards and give it another go, or perhaps build on what you've already said. So the first one is commission. Commission is where an employee gets a percentage of the value of the sales back as a payment within their pay packet. So you'd often find this within a sales environment, maybe an estate agent, certainly a car salesperson. So if a person sells a car for about £10,000, that employee on commission might get 1% of the value of it back. So in this case, £10,000 car sold, commission of £100. Usually, the company would offer a very low minimum wage basic, and the employee is expected to top up those earnings from sales. The next one is a flexible contract. So this is better for parents or carers or people with outside commitments. So if the job is mainly project based, where you're not required to be in a set location for particular hours, it may be beneficial for you to offer flexible working to your staff. So they might not want to be able to, or might not even be able to work the usual 9 to 5 because they've got to pick up the kids from school or whatever. Okay? So by offering them that flexibility, they're more likely to be motivated to stay within your particular company and work hard because they know that's an opportunity that won't be afforded everywhere. The next one is empowerment. So empowerment is where managers trust their employees to take on extra responsibilities. So within the classroom, for example, I've asked some of you to take on extra responsibilities yourselves, whether that be taking the books back, picking them up, getting the folders. That extra trust I place in you, I expect to be rewarded back with extra work because I trust you to be able to do the bits around the classroom, and we give you certain discretion as a result of that. Within a workplace environment, if a manager trusts you, you wouldn't want to break that trust because you know that you're their go-to person. The next one is piece rate. So you're being paid per item made. The idea here is to encourage workers to produce as much as they physically could. So this is a very old method of payment. I know my great uncle, when he worked for Jaguar Land Rover, used to be paid in this method, and he told me a couple of things about his experiences within that environment about producing as much as physically possible. So at this point, what I'd like you to think about is that the best method, piece rate? What potential problems might there be? Have you had any thoughts? Hold that and save it, okay? We might come back to that later. So, wages is a common one that you guys will be aware of, okay, when you're applying for your first jobs. Most of the types of jobs that teenagers go for are paid on an hourly basis. So the longer you work, the more you are paid. Is there any problems with that? Salary is usually your career type jobs. So you are paid on an annual rate and then paid in monthly increments. If that has helped you now and clarified some things, go back to the last activity and finish it off. The next task now is to have a go at the maths moment and then read the case study on page 197. If you are looking through the COVID materials, then have a look online in the case study section. It is available there. Then answer question 4 within the case study Amel's workforce. Pause the video now to have a go at that activity. Okay, so for the answer for the first one, the maths moment, we can see that the option 1 was £17,500 a year. Then we had to do a little bit of maths to get to the answer for option 2. So the information we were given is that a similar post is available working 35 hours each week, receiving £10 an hour. Okay, so assuming that you can work 35 hours a week every week, okay, and you don't take any holidays, you can make up to £18,200 per annum. Most people would take 4 weeks off, so think about how that might change things in reality. But option 2 at the minute is the best. If you didn't get that, have a look at the workings on the screen now to review and see where you went wrong. Okay, so do you think that Amal used the best method of motivation with his staff? Give reasons for your answer. So on this screen, I've given you a template of how to answer it. I've also given you here a question example and how to answer it in particular steps given there. If the answer at the minute that you've got does not have that contextualized analysis, developed points, or a conclusion that includes the three W's, please go back now and correct it. If you need to, you can go on the PowerPoint itself and enlarge these particular boxes to try and read it clearly. Hopefully this has given you a good point from which to work from. Remember, 9 marks shouldn't really take you longer than 10 minutes. 12 minutes at an absolute max. Thank you ever so much for coming along on the second part of the motivational journey with me. I have been Mr. Hill, and I hope that if you tweet one thing you've learned about this lesson, it will be something inspiring. So, creative hashtags encouraged, but only appropriate tweets. Goodbye for now.